Assalamualaikum dear students. How are you all? Hope all you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah, I'm also fine. Today I'm here again with another science class. Obviously class 8. I hope you are ready with your book, pen, pencil, everything. So today we will revise a chapter of science, and that one already you have finished. Chapter is chapter 4, reproduction of plants. So there is 2 segments in the class. In first segment we will revise the full chapter, and in second segment we will revise 2 creative questions and 5 knowledge based questions. Okay, so with your full attention, be ready. And obviously you know me, I am your teacher Shahnaz Parveen Asha. Let's start the class. I have already disclosed today's topic, right? So today first of all we will go through the lesson. There is 5 lessons, you see. Lesson 1 to 3 reproduction, lesson 4 that is sexual reproduction, lesson 5 and 6 pollination, lesson 7 and 8 fertilization and fruit formation, and lesson 9 and 10 that is structure of seeds and germination. So why I'm revising, or I'm telling all this lesson? Only to recall your mind, because already you have finished this chapter, isn't it? Yes. So first of all, reproduction. And what is the name of the chapter? Reproduction in plants. Okay, so reproduction in plants, how happens? So what is reproduction? You already know reproduction is a complex process by which organism produces its offspring. So here as we are learning that reproduction in plants, so all the things we will learn or go through about plants. So how reproduction takes place in plants? In plants actually reproduction takes place in 2 ways, isn't it? Plants are also what? Plants are also part of living thing, you should know. And living thing means animals and plants, whatever they are, they will reproduce, and they will reproduce by some process. You have learned this in chapter 2, that there are some cell division process by which actually organisms reproduces, isn't it? There is mitosis, meiosis and amitosis, cell division. By this cell division actually reproduction takes place. So whatever plants, how it is reproduces? In plants, reproduction takes place in 2 ways. One is asexual reproduction and another one is sexual reproduction. So in first lesson 1 to 3 we will learn, or we have seen, that there is all about asexual reproduction. So what is asexual reproduction? When this reproduction takes place only from one parent. An offspring inherits the gene from only one parent, that is asexual reproduction. And asexual reproduction done in how many ways? Right, 2 ways. One is formation of spore and another one is vegetative reproduction. So what is the formation of spore? You have seen there are some examples, Myrcor, Penicillium. Okay, that means formation of spore actually of 2 types. One is sporangium, another one is conidium. So when the spores are outside, those are called exospore, and some of cases those are also called conidium. Okay, see the example, Myrcor, Penicillium, all these. Next one, vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction that happens through the body part of the plant, and it is of again 2 types. One is natural and the one is artificial. Which one happens? Which vegetative reproduction happens naturally by the body part, that is natural, and which is not natural, that means happens artificially, that is artificial reproduction. Natural reproduction again of some types. Natural reproduction again of some types. Among them there is segmentation through roots, modified stem and through the leaves. In case of modified stem, there is also some parts you have seen There is tuber, rhizome, bulbil, stolon, bulb, isn't it? And through leaves, you have seen the example, bryophyllum. In Bangla, we call it pathorkuchi. Most of we have seen, or who loves gardening in their house also, you have seen that this type of plants they have. Plain artificial vegetative reproduction is again of two types. One is grafting and one is cutting. That means grafting is a process by which in the stem part some skin of the plants is cut it first, and then soil, water, fertilizer, mixing all these, it is just give a layer over there, and that is bind with polythene, and within few days, like 10 to 15 days, new roots will grow, and by that what will happen? Plants will grow. After then cutting from the plant, new plant we can get. Okay. And cutting, you see rose, there are some other plants, time flower, all these, just cut the stem, put on the soil, you will get new plants. That's all about reproduction. That means lesson 1 and 1 to 3. Next one, you see sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, there are some sexual organs in the plants. So which are sexual organs actually? How we will find out the sexual organs in the plant? So you have seen in the flower of the plant, there are some parts. Okay, there is a typical flower. In typical flower, you will see there is some parts like petal, petal the most colorful one of the plant. Then inside the petals there are some parts, stamen, carpel, all this. There is gynoecium also. There is receptor. There is sepals also. So all these together actually the flower contain. Okay. So this part, that means the reproductive organ, stamen and carpel. By these two reproductive organ, actually sexual reproduction done. Okay. How the flowers are arranged in a plant, and or the mode of the flower, that is called inflorescence. Inflorescence is very important for your exam. You must keep in mind. Okay. What is it? You have already known this one. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Is it? So what is pollen grain? Pollen grain actually are the male gamete of plants. That means that remains in the flower. Okay. The male gamete of plants are called pollen grain. So that pollen grain transfer from anther to stigma. That means pollen grain remain in the anther, and the female gamete that remain in the ovary. But if the pollen grain want to go to the ovary, first of all it have to go to the stigma first. Okay. So that is pollination. What I said, transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is called pollination. Got my point? The pollination, in case of pollination, you see there is two types of pollination. One is self-pollination and one is cross-pollination. So pollination is two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. So this is the same flower, same plant, but two plant but of same species. So when pollination happen in the same flower, that means from its anther to stigma, or from this flower to this flower, anther pollen grain will transfer, that will be self-pollination, and from this plant's flower to this plant's flower, pollen grain will come to this flower, that will be cross-pollination. I hope you did understand. When you see fertilization, so another point we have to keep in mind that in case of pollination, what will happen? And there needs, it will, in some cases it will happen naturally. That means in case of self-pollination, it will happen naturally. Okay, but whatever the pollination process is, we have to think about pollinating agents, because without pollinating agent, it is quite impossible for to do the pollination. So for this, plants also have to organize, or flowers also have to organize in that way. That is called adaptation of the flower. That means flowers organize them, flowers have to modify their structure, okay, and that is called adaptation of the flowers. So in that case, what is happening? For instance, there is, you see, insect pollinated flowers, wind pollinated flowers, water pollinated flowers, and animal pollinated flowers. Not my word, I hope so. So you have learning details in the book. Next we will go to the fertilization and fruit formation. So what is fertilization? You have already know. Yeah, the sexual union of a motile male gamete with a non-motile female gamete is fertilization. And after the fertilization process, actually fruit forms. Fruit forms. Okay. And you see, while fruit forms, fruit will form only by the ovary, that is called true fruit, and in some cases fruit forms form by all the flower part, that means petals, sepal, stamen, carpel, with all the parts, that is false fruit. Okay, so normally on the basis on this, there is two types of fruit, true fruit and false fruit. Okay. So fruits are again on the basis and nature of the fruit. There are again three types: simple fruit, aggregate fruit, and multiple fruit. You have seen there are a few examples are there. I have given the picture of simple fruit. Simple fruit are two types: dry and fleshy. You see, and aggregate fruit. So these are the aggregate fruit. And next one, these are multiple fruit. So you see the pineapple flower, there are lots of flower, and all together all these ovaries are combined together and will form only one flower. Okay. Next one, the last lesson 9 to 10, structure of seeds and its germination. What is it? Structure of seeds and its germination. So you have seen seeds, different type of seeds, isn't it? The pumpkin, there is seed; in the bottle gourd, there is seed, whatever. In the gram, whatever that is called boot, we take in, mostly we take in Ramadan time. That is also a seed. So there are lots, when a food forms, there is a seed inside most of the cases. And you will learn about seeds, different type of seeds in higher classes also. So the basic one is explained in the book, that is gram seed, and it is like a standard one or standard structure. You see, there are different parts of seed. There is plumule, there is embryonal axis, there is nodal zone. Okay, all the things you have to keep in mind. And there is seed coat also, that there is seed coat. Some of the seeds have one seed coat, some of the seed have more than one. So when it is more than one, it is called, more than one means when it is two, then it is called dicotyledon, and one, that is mono. Now come to the point, germination. What is called germination? What is called germination? The development of a seedling from a seed is called germination. That means from the seed a new plant or bud will grow up, that is germination. Okay, so germination again are two types, hypogeal and epigeal. Hypogeal and epigeal actually depends on the cotyledons and plumule. Okay, so when the cotyledons remain in the soil, inside the soil, and plumule comes up, that is hypo. There are different examples like paddy, is it? Paddy mango. And when the plumule and cotyledon both comes up from the soil part, and cotyledon actually works as the nutrition here also, that is epigeal germination. That's it. That's all about our today's lesson of the chapter. Okay, so I hope you could recall your mind. Now we will go for 5 knowledge based question answer and 2 creative questions. So this is our second segment of the class, knowledge based question. Now I'll discuss 5 knowledge based questions. These are mostly coming in different board exam, so you must learn properly. Okay, so see, first question is, what is vegetative reproduction? Right, the reproduction is done by the body parts of the plant or in vegetative way, that is vegetative reproduction. So you have to say it is actually one type of asexual reproduction, isn't it? So the asexual reproduction that is done, the asexual reproduction that is done by the body part of the plant or in a vegetative way, that is called vegetative reproduction. Next one, what is called self-pollination. So what is it? When the pollination occurs in the same flower of a plant or different flower of this same plant is called self-pollination. 3 number, what is called germination. What is germination? Yes, the development of a seedling from the seed is called germination. Next question, what is fertilization? The sexual union of motile means which is active, motile male gamete with a non-motile female gamete is called fertilization. Our next question is, what is called inflorescence? Yes, the mode of arrangement of a flower in the plant is called its inflorescence. So that's all today's knowledge based question answer. We will go for the first creative question. So what is first creative question? 1 number question, what is called reproduction? Yes, that all you know. I don't need to discuss anymore. Should I? Okay, the complex process by which organism produces its offspring is called reproduction. Already I have told in the very beginning. B number question, why Pathashala is called water pollinated flower? So Pathashala actually it is in water. So you should know first why this type of flowers are called water pollinated flower, and you will get this one in the essence of pollination, water pollinated flower. There are some characteristics. Flowers are small, lightweight, and it can float in the water. Okay, and it doesn't have any scent. And some cases they have long stalk. Okay, the flowers have long stalk. So these characteristics are present in Pathashala. That's why we can say Pathashala is a water pollinated flower. Okay, so how could we write the knowledge base of B number? Yes, we can write that Pathashala flower is modified for water pollinated flower. Okay, or modified as, or it has the adaptation of as water pollinated flower. And then in the second para you will write all this information, that what are the characteristics of water pollinated flower, and then you will write the food. I forgot to say that you see there is 3 fruits, pineapple and jackfruit. Pineapple, 3 category here, pineapple, jackfruit, and one is paddy, and one is champa and apple. Okay, so now C number, see how the germination in 2 number occurs. You have to describe. So first of all, you know 2 number is paddy, right? And paddy, what type of germination occurs? Hypogeal germination. So this is the knowledge base part. Then in paddy, hypogeal germination occurs. Then second part you will write all the things that mean definition, how it occurs, and obviously you have to draw picture. Okay, with the discussion you have to draw the picture, and in this way the answer will be completed. I'm repeating, this is your knowledge based part. In paddy, hypogeal germination occurs. Okay, better to draw picture here, figure of hypogeal germination, and then discussion. We will discuss with the definition and how it happens, everything. Clear? I guess. See D number 1 and 3, that means jackfruit, pineapple, and champa and akand, that happens of the above stem is produced by from the various part of the fertile flower. Analyze. What are the fruits? You have to see first. Pineapple and jackfruit, one category, and then 3 number category, champa and akand. So pineapple and jackfruit, what type of fruit formation happen? B number, jackfruit, what type of they are? Jackfruit and pineapple, they are multiple type fruit. And 3, champa, akanda, that is of aggregate type fruits. So first of all you have to identify. For this identification you will get 2 marks. Okay, and then you have to explain these multiple fruits and aggregate fruit, and then at the end you will write your higher thinking. Clear? At the end you will write your higher thinking. Jackfruit and pineapple, what is happening here? The inflorescence will combine. Inflorescence ovaries will combine, and here the merger of several ovaries will happen. So by this process actually various fertile part of flower combines and produces this type of fruits. Clear? Now we will go for second critic question. See, in the critic question there is 2 figure, one is P and another one is M. So P you can easily say that this is carpel, and carpel's full part is here, that means the stigma and the style and the ovary, and M is male reproductive organ, that is stamen. In the stamen there is anther, there is a stalk. Is it? See the question, what is called asexual reproduction? We have already discussed. What is asexual reproduction? A, when offspring inherits from the single parents and inherits inherits the gene from the parents only, that is asexual reproduction. B number, why chalta is known as false fruit? So you should know the definition of false fruit first, is it? That when the ovary along with the different floral part combines and produces fruit, that is false fruit. So chalta, in case of chalta, it is formed by ovary along with the different parts of the flower. Clear? That's why it is false fruit. That's it. Nothing more to discuss. You can give other examples also. C number, using P and M, draw a label diagram of a typical flower. That means P and M must be present there. P and M must be present there. You have to draw a typical flower. That is given in the book. You can give that one also. That one easily. Otherwise, if you want to give other picture, you have to search in the Google. So see, you have to draw like this. You have to say what is P. P is carpel and M is stamen, and then draw the figure. Then you will write a label diagram of a typical flower like China rose is drawn below. Then draw the figure, write the name, figure name. That means suppose this is your box, you will draw the figure here, and here you will write figure name. What you will write? Figure. Typical flower. And the bracket write China rose. In the bracket write China rose, and you will draw the figure. Flower will be this side, and you will label like this. Here will be flower, and you will label in one side. Okay, on the part name you will write like this. I hope it's clear to all of you. My dear students, analyze the significance of P and M retaining the heredity of a plant. Okay, analyze the significance of P and M retaining heredity of plants. So you have to write the what is retaining heredity, how it happened. By the fertilization process, is it? By the reproduction process, so you have to write the significance of P and M, how they are signified, how they are important. So write separately the significance of P, the significance of M, okay, and then write your higher thinking. So at the very beginning you will identify them. Here P is carpel, M is stamen. P is carpel and M is stamen. P is female reproductive organ of a flower and M is male reproductive organ of a flower. They both have huge significance in the reproduction. Without these two, reproduction cannot happen. Okay, and then you will discuss separately significance of carpel, significance of stamen, and at the end you will write your higher thinking. I hope all you did understand. I don't need to explain separately what are the significance. Should I? I hope so. I know it. You can write the significance from the book easily. Okay? Use your brain. So we are end of the class today. So your homework 38, because our BRC now is also 38, and so you will write as a homework CQ number 2, which one I have discussed today. Second query question, you have to write this one as an answer in your homework copy. Okay, you will write it as a homework number 38, and obviously revise chapter 4 full. Clear? So that's all about today's lesson. I hope you did understand and you can recall your mind. So this is all about actually biology chapter. You have to practice again and again to keep all these points in your mind. This is very much important. And obviously science you have to learn or study regularly. Keep a specific time every day in your routine to learn or study science. Okay, practice again and again, then it will stuck in your memory. I hope all you will follow my words or instructions. Thank you, my dear students. Stay home, stay safe, listen to your parents, listen to your teachers, listen to your grandparents, and also take care of your parents, your siblings, also your teachers. Thank you all. Allah Hafiz.